Starting Facebook Live. Hello, Facebook. All right, everybody, thank you for sharing. And now we are going to introduce our speaker, Joyce Feustel, with Boomer's social media tutor. And she today is presenting Schmooze, Share, and Search on LinkedIn. Joyce founded Boomer's social media tutor in 2010 and has been active on LinkedIn since December of 2008. Through her tutoring and training business, Joyce has helped with a wide range of business owners to become more effective and productive in their use of social media, including LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Prior to going full-time with her company in 2013, she worked as a sales professional for 17 years. She has lived in Lakewood, Colorado for just over 20 years. She is originally from Wisconsin and has degrees from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in education and business. With a rousing applause, please help me welcome Joyce.
It takes to get your butt downtown. It's worth it to me. I actually would rather come here than drive from Lakewood to Westminster. Nothing personal, you Westminster people, because I love to come downtown even with the challenges. And we've had, let's see, we just did introductions. I know, bless your heart for just settling in. Lovely lady in the red. Would you just want to say hello? Actually, Ann, too. We were just doing introductions. Do you mind just saying your name and your business?
Yeah, my name is Molly Savage. It was for
I know you, Molly. All of a sudden, I'm like, I know. What's your company again?
GCG Financial.
Got it. And Ann? Got it. Okay, it's just nice for me to know the composition. How many of you, by the way, would you consider yourself B2B types of businesses? Yeah, to some extent at least some of yours. Because one of the reasons LinkedIn can be so powerful is in that environment, but it's really helpful no matter what your business is. My focus in my business is primarily on helping people in, say, the late Gen Xers age group and then the boomers and older to not be so freaked out by social media. Realize there's ways to screw up and ways to usually correct your screw-ups and get over yourself. So as a 68-year-old woman, most of my clients, they're either like my younger sibling or my child, and I just treat them like the older sister or the mother and the annoying English teacher you thought you would never have to meet again. Seriously, I'll sit there and say, you know, there should be a space there. I would put a comma in that sentence. I do that with my own daughter. So what we're going to cover today is we have in your handout, and everyone should have a handout. I have a few extras up here if you don't have one, is we're going to go over schmoozing, one of my very favorite words, and sharing and searching on LinkedIn. So we will not cover your profile. If you have questions afterwards, every audience I talk to, I say, I'll give you 10, maybe 15 minutes of my time in a virtual session. I like to use GoToMeeting, and we'll do a screen share and we'll troubleshoot. So if you just have that kind of thing, fine. Of course, I have an hourly rate and all that good stuff. Then I want to say if anybody is using a mobile device, your iPad or your phone during this, the network here is guest, and then the username is guest, G-U-E-S-T-S. That's at spaceworks.com, and it's really easy. The password then is spacesworks. It's spacesworks. I'm sorry, spacesworks.com, and the password is spacesworks. So you can check with the staff too if I went too fast on that. But you'll be fine just following along, on here. So why do we schmooze on LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn otherwise would be boring. Don't you find it boring? I find it boring. Seriously, until I got into some groups and saw the dynamic of people within LinkedIn, I just didn't really see much point in LinkedIn. I was on it for like 2.5 years doing zero, which is pretty typical, I find, of most people. But when you schmooze, you reinforce your relationships with people you know in real life and maybe people you know just through LinkedIn, and you can enhance the face-to-face communication you have right here together. So where are some places we're going to schmooze? We'll go over to notifications. That's really your best friend when it comes to schmoozing. And if you have any trouble seeing the screen, there's several, just like in church, there's like spaces in the front row. So come up front if you're having trouble seeing it. So notifications, we see all kinds of things. Happy birthday, we're going to skip that. I know there's somebody that has a new position, and I was looking at this last night. Well, let's see who these people are. So they'll show you these in a little group. So I can go through and look for people that I know well enough to take the time to write a note to them, a personal note. Now here's a couple of people liked an article I wrote. I mean, it's very robust information. Some people looked at my profile. See there I was promoting this event. So it gives you a lot of helpful information. So you can just go through and then see who there's other people like to post. It's very, very helpful. So and just without going through it so we don't have to take a lot of time, if I was to say write to Joanne Pepperell, oh, she's the one that moved to California. So I could just say something like, congrats on the new job. I'm not going through the whole name. I'll just, personalize a little bit. Joanne, miss seeing you here in Denver. Now, I'd be screwed, of course, if she's moved back and I didn't think to check, but I'll just take a chance there because she moved to California last I knew. So I just send that little note over to her. So that's just something simple rather than just say, congrats. Congrats. Everybody can say congrats. You want to write something that's just, oh, there's Emmy. Oh my gosh, I could spend my whole rest of this time like I used to know her from Toastmasters. Wow. So it's really like going back to Manawa, Wisconsin, population 1,000. That's how it feels to me, like, oh yeah, there's Mrs. So-and-so's kid. So it has that feel for it if you let it do that. Now another thing I can do is, I can just write a message. So I saw that Simon's Reed, really sweetheart guy, notice he looked at he might be a reason I might want to write to him, he looked at my profile. So I go to Simon, and then there he is, right there. So now I'm just going to message him. I know he does this kind of thing, he won't be surprised, he won't think I'm stalking him or anything weird. So I'll say, hey, saw you checked out my profile lately. How are things with you and your dear family? I'm on Facebook with him. I know when his daughter has a gymnastics meet, so that kind of thing. And he's an awesome business coach. It's just a little chit chat. And actually, here's a good time, and if you can see it really well enough here, but if any of you have ever noticed when you hit enter, how when you do a Facebook message internally, isn't that annoying? When you hit enter, off goes the message. Too soon, right? No, what you can hear on LinkedIn, there's a fix for that. And if you can see that box there, if yours, when you click on those three dots, says enter, this is bad. That's because LinkedIn is stupid to have this as a default. You want it to say send. So therefore, now you can go do-do-do, enter, do-do-do, enter, do-do, done, send. Do you see what I'm saying? So many people I've noticed still have that going on. So that's just these are simple things you can do. Now I was hoping that Nate would be here, but I'm still going to be nice to him because I love Nate. Our MC is normally here, my business coach. So I'm going to do a couple things with Nate Lapgard, who is, since Drew has moved, has taken over the hosting for this. So now I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do, and now we're still on page 1, I'm going to recommend him. So watch carefully. Watch carefully if you haven't done this. See these 3 little dots right here? Now I'm going to recommend Nate. What's my relationship with Nate? I am a client of his. He's my business coach. What's his position? He is the owner at Kite and Dart. Now I also would suggest to him he should put in a job description as the host of this event. And we could all write him recommendations theoretically, right? I have about at least 2 or 3 different things like that where I'm the facilitator and I put that in as a quote-unquote job. Because then it comes up as a work anniversary and it's just good. So I'll say, Nate, I thought about this on the way here. Nate is an awesome business coach. He has motivated me, I mean big time, has motivated me to take my business to a whole other level. Whole new level is better, I think. Like think bigger, make more money, go for it, Joyce, that kind of thing. So thanks. I mean, I could write more, and I could always go in and update this. I could even remove it and put it back in again. I've done that with my video consultant because our relationship's evolved over the nearly 3 years I've known her. And then I just have to notify her so she knows to go and accept that. Now, wouldn't you just love it if out of the blue someone had a nice little testimonial waiting for, in your inbox waiting for them? I mean, to me, that's almost the best of all these. It is the best. Now, let's say I want to endorse this man. I'm going to endorse him for some things I know he's good at. He's a super, uber entrepreneur, great at social media marketing, coaching. That's probably enough for now. So that's it, see? Now, those things, he has to go in. Well, actually, they're in his list. It's not a pending endorsement. But if I came up with some idea, something else I endorsed him for, he'd have to approve it. But here, that recommendation will not show up on his screen, on his profile, until he accepts it. And always watch out for typos, because, look at me. I was typing fast. I could easily make a mistake. So let the person know they made a mistake so they can redo their recommendation. So those are just some simple things you can do to schmooze. Does that all make sense with everybody? I mean, just want to make sure I have any questions. So now I'm going to, yes, Fred?
So the goal is basically to start a conversation in the virtual world here.
Right.
You say something nice about him or that.
Mm-hmm. And maybe somebody you've been wanting to get in touch with, and you can say, hey, I've been meaning to call you. Do that one-to-one. There's a randomness, albeit, to it, though. That's why I showed you the notifications, just whatever pops up. But with Simon, I went and looked at him, and I was thinking of looking at him even before I looked at my profile. So maybe there's somebody you've been wanting to circle back with, to reconnect with, and then you proactively go over and do something nice, just like I did with Nate.
So what's your thought about having a company LinkedIn page and doing the same?
You asked two questions. A company LinkedIn page is good when you have a bigger company, like this outfit here, Spaces. Most likely it's got a company page where all the people then can share from the company page. Chris, like your company may want to, I'm thinking possibly, larger companies would have a presence. It's good for SEO, Fred. It's really good, and you would bear that out, Zoe. So it's good for that. The thing of it is, and also your logo for your company will display in your position in the work experience section. In terms of dynamics within LinkedIn, LinkedIn is much more people to people than company. Companies couldn't go in and comment. So it couldn't, like we're on Facebook, my company page could go in and comment on things, and I could be there, my persona as Boomer Social Media Tutor, not as Joyce Feustel. They don't really have a mechanism like that on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn isn't as oriented toward the companies as it is to the people. It's kind of a short answer. We could talk more about that, but that's what I've noticed. Unless you're a little bit bigger company.
Joyce,
yes?
One of the nice things about creating a page for your company,
mm-hmm.
this is a hoop I had to jump through, was that as the owner of my own individual company like yours is, I wanted to put the logo in the little circle next to it on my experience, and the only way to do that is to create your company as an entity in LinkedIn, and then use that.
Yeah, I have a client that's what she wanted to do. So here's what we're all talking about. So because I have a company page, you'll see that logo. That's what Nicholas is saying. You see there? One other workaround around that, if you don't want to bother, you could put your company, you could brand yourself up here too with the logo if you didn't want to fool with the company page. But exactly, it does look kind of funky without that. Yeah, it looks kind of weird. Yeah, so that's why I have mine. I don't do diddly with mine, but that's exactly why I have mine. Yes, Mark?
Joyce, if you create a company page like that, do you lose all your previous contacts, or can you import those, the connections?
Okay, you have to go and beg people to follow your page. In other words, if you're really going to do something on your page, if you're really going to put shares, which we're coming to next, on your page, those people, my 5,800 or whatever I have, somewhere around 5,700 connections, they don't automatically be followers of my page. No. It's just like on Facebook, you could have 1,300 friends and 50 people like your Facebook business page. Right. Is that kind of what you were asking?
That's exactly what I'm asking.
Yeah. No, you have to go and just say, hey, I've got this going. Come on down, follow me. Yeah. It's a whole nother marketing thing, which I just haven't bothered with. But you could do it. Now, why would you share? So many people are on LinkedIn, and they don't say diddly. Zero. And they're on Facebook, all chatty Cathy, chatty whatever man's name comes to mind. And they think, oh, I should say something on LinkedIn? Like, what do I say? Well, there's lots of things you can say and places you can do it. So the first place we're going to go, first why? Let's read back a minute. It builds your credibility. People that Joyce Feustel, she knows something about social media. I'm always seeing her stuff. So it's just you're there. It's top of mind, top of mind. And your rankings will go up in internet searches when you're active on LinkedIn with these kind of postings. There's where do you share? Unlike Facebook, where you can share from your newsfeed page, right? And from your home page, your timeline. On LinkedIn, you only share from your home page, just little one-on-one stuff. So here we are sharing. So I'll just do a real live share again. So thanks so much, Drew. He's here in spirit. We know that he's not dead. He's just in Oregon, right? Okay. I may be worried. No, there's no RIP or anything involved. And for inviting me, he's our godfather, right, to speak at Boost. Well, you guys don't have a page, though. Never mind. I'll just say Boost Biz Ed today and share tips on LinkedIn. Oh, and also thanks to, the beloved Ashley, and she gets host credit now. Ooh, I was just going to give her a coordinator for both, I'll call it for both hosting and coordinating this event. This event, we'll call it. So now, if I had a picture, which I know if my friend Holly Clear, by now she'd already have a selfie, and be out there. Okay, everybody, smile with me, But I'm just teasing because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm too old to ask for that one. Because she's cute and she's in her 30s and she's always up there on Facebook with her people. But yeah, right, I know. I just have stand-up comic. Right, so see what I've all done here before I post this. See the blue in the blue? All right, these people are going to be notified that I was chatting them up. I was saying nice things about them, right? How easy is that? And I chat up Boost Biz. Well, Boost Biz, I've heard about that. Oh, I should come. So, I'm here doing LinkedIn. See? I mean, win, 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 like 4 of them or something. So up that goes. Now, we see that right here, but sometimes it doesn't always show up in your newsfeed. So you get worried, especially when you're older. Let's play to that fun older card. Did I really do that? Oh my gosh, maybe I didn't. Oh my gosh, how am I going to find out? Watch this. You go over here. Now, I may have done this too fast, and it might not be here yet, but this is where it'll come up in just a minute. So I'll go back there just to double check. So that's an update. Events you're going to, events you're at, events you've been to, speakers you loved, especially you, Maggie, as you travel around the world, I can see you really, while they're speaking, it's like Twitter, like go, do. It's very cool in real time. So that's where you can do that. Now, and tips, like I have my quick tip. Like, oh my gosh, do you know there's video? Oh, we're getting to that. Video on LinkedIn now. But I'm not in the elite group or anything. All right, so now we're going to talk about articles. Page 2. Watching my time here. Articles are longer. There is a 600 character limit to updates, which works into maybe 2 or 3 sentences, depending on how long your sentences are. So there is a limit to the length of an update. But an article will be as long as you want to make it. I mean, don't go overboard because people will stop reading. So I would say anywhere from 200, 300 words up to even 1,000 words if it's really good. Really meaty and you need that much, I usually do about 500 to 600 words. And where does this article come from? It comes from my own website, in my blog section of my website. Again, I'll look at my beloved Zoe over here, because when you host everything you write on your website, you own it. I mean, LinkedIn, I hope, will never go away, but it's not, it's there on LinkedIn. It's not my stuff, technically. So then what I do is I take that article and I put a new title on it and a new opening paragraph, just so I don't confuse Google. So it's a little different, and we don't have duplicate content on Google. And now I don't have to do that much more mental heavy lifting. Just think on a Tuesday morning, usually when I put it up, okay, what am I going to say in my opening paragraph? So that's all I do. Now you could, if you don't have a website and you aren't blogging, you can still blog on LinkedIn. That's really what you're doing. You find a picture that goes, you just pick out a picture, put it in there. You have your headline, make sure it's catchy, it's relevant. In fact, I just saw a post on LinkedIn last night that said is those how-to are far and away the best 2 words to use to start any headline for B2B people. So there, take that around with you. Then I just copy from my Word document and put it right in here. And you can add all kinds of links, internal links, videos, pictures, which I'm not as good at doing, but that's what you should do. You know, I take my own lessons here. And then when you're done, you click on Publish. And that's, again, where the SEO and the search feature comes up, because you put hashtag and then the word or 2 or 3, whatever word is your keyword, and a comma, and then the other one. So if people are looking for articles about that, then they can more easily find that. Okay, let's go back and see where these things are. And by now, we should have had that one update show up here. So if you're thinking, okay, how does this look? Did they get mine in there? So they still, we saw it. For some reason, this is still delayed. But that little update I did about being here will show up on this right-hand side. That's my activity. And here's something I liked yesterday. And here's this article I wrote. And it is, it's all about how now you can message really easy peasy from LinkedIn. So then, see, this is where and I tie it back, you know, to my website. So that's how that works. So and now I can share this if I want to. I could share this over to other parts of LinkedIn. If somebody I was talking to about messaging, I could share it privately within LinkedIn. You can't do this really with the updates right here. You just click on that and then start typing the name. Or you can just do another update, post it to a group. You can do a lot of things on LinkedIn. Reshare the article later in the week. I've done that a lot. Share it over to your Facebook business page. Share it to Twitter. So you can do a lot with these articles. Then, so we've seen where they show up. I'm going to get out of this. Do you have any questions about this process? Anybody? And I do this about once a week. Even if you just did it a couple times a month, I would say yes. No, everybody in the group could see it. Say, I'm going to have to move this a little. I'm concerned about if somebody could help me plug in my computer, because I'm concerned about my battery.
There's an outlet right there.
Yep. Oh, would you do that, please? Thank you. Perfect. Okay. I didn't want to sit there getting nervous. Is it there? I know there's one over there by Ashley. Sorry for the technical issues. Because I could just move the table, I think, a wee bit and go over by the other outlet. Do we need to get Morgan or one of those guys? Will it go in there? Yes. I feel better. Yes. Okay. Plugged in. I feel good. I'm plugged in. Yes, sir.
You had mentioned that you changed that first paragraph so as to not confuse Google.
Yeah.
Is that beyond the scope, or could you share a little bit about what you mean?
You know, then you should come and talk to Zoe, because I only know enough to be dangerous on that information, really. Sorry. Okay, so now you get an idea of where these things are. And look at this. Even if I didn't have that much activity of branding, you want to learn about Joyce Feustel and what she's willing to go on LinkedIn and talk about. There's something about beloved Toastmasters, ways you can learn. You'll love this one. Where's my Facebook? Yeah, Facebook Live video. That's for you, Anthony. Yay, and what he's doing here. So they're like, whoa, that lady, she knows stuff. So it's part of your branding, your building up of your professional expertise. So now you're getting the general idea. Now, what is the other thing we can do with sharing? So we've talked about sharing out our own stuff. What about things you find from other people? So last night, rather than taking your precious time scrolling through my newsfeed and Lord knows what's in here, I'm just going to go to a lady I found when just opening up my newsfeed, and I thought it was really interesting article. So I'm just going to look her up. Sarah San something. S-T-A. She should be coming up by now. There she is. Okay. So she's a LinkedIn consultant. She's a smarty pants in this area. We respect her. Right. Now, watch carefully. I'm going to go down and look at all her activity. And I can tell she's active just since last night. She's done several things. So the one that I found, I thought it was in here, this one, the B2B headline. Remember I told you about that? How to write an engaging B2B headline. And this article that she didn't write, but it's very recent, she just found it, See that? Isn't that something? The top 2-word phrases. How to. Isn't that cool? How to, and then it's the X, like the 10 things you should do about that. That's what that means. Or 9 ways to stand out on LinkedIn, or the top 5 tips, that kind of thing. But I mean, how to just dwarfs the rest of them, doesn't it? So I'm thinking this is really good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share her piece and say something like, thanks so much, and I'll do another one of those little tagging, aka mentioning things like I did before. Sarah, S-A-N, she should come up there, for sharing this super helpful article. Thank you. Oh, there it is. I have an extra word in there. Thanks, Cassie. All right. So now this then, I could have just liked it too, and that would still go, kind of be there in the news feed of the people who follow me. But then I like to, I just like to honor her. I don't want to just okay, I'm just going to like it. That's fine. But what happens, just so you know, when you do this kind of sharing, and it is over here on your stuff, so again, that'll be over here shortly, that rolls off. All the stuff on the right-hand side is going to roll off in about 2 weeks, so it doesn't live there. So if you want to keep that information, you have to find another way to save it, Evernote or whatever you use. And there's one more person I want to show you because she's amazing. So Vivica Von Rose, and I should go to her page, her profile more often. And sure enough, she's got this piece, I saw it last night, video is finally here. How about that? Finally, on LinkedIn. 500 people have it. She's special. She's in one of those 500. And how are you going to know if you have it? So she right away, brilliant woman, she writes a piece about it. It's a video icon, and it takes you to your phone's camera where you can shoot the video. And it's right now only on your mobile app, just like remember when Facebook Live video came out, it was just on your app, and then eventually it came to desktop. So 500, but it should be a mobile device near you soon. So pretty cool. Look at this in just a short time, what she's got. So I think for now I'll just like that, and I'll write more later. I'll just go back and redo that and maybe write a little piece about it. So this is where LinkedIn really keeps you up to date with the experts in the field. There's no way I ever present myself as an expert. I just know most about LinkedIn more than the average person, let's just say. But I do know where to go to get cool information. So these are all ways you can use LinkedIn to really help further your brand because whoa, Joyce knew about the live video. That's because I know Vivica. So that's really where I want to move to next is sharing in terms of time. So are we okay on the sharing? Which is searching. Now searching, I might get some whiners here, and I certainly do feel a little whiny sometimes. Until Facebook made this big change, and for those of you who are desktop oriented, you'll notice it happened for you sometime in the first quarter of this year, where some things were taken away from us who had free accounts, and the whole dang format looked a whole lot different. Until that point, there was something called advanced search, and we could go in and do some fairly discrete searches. I'm thinking your B2B people, like you in particular, Clifton and Nicholas, 2 people come right to mind here in this crowd. You could go in, and Chris maybe, you could go in and really do some pretty heavy-duty searching. You can still search, though, even on a free account. I've actually broken down and gotten the Sales Navigator. So if you want to get together with me and learn Sales Navigator, just pay me my hourly rate, then you'll figure it out. So there. Or get me to a group, and you can do it in a group. But now I'm going to do 3 kinds of searches. I'm going to search for people, and then I'm going to search for people just within the people search. I'm going to go to a company page and search for people, and then I'm going to go into a group and search for some people. So watch how this happens. Let's start with, I have some clients who do reverse mortgages. You're probably familiar with those, and they've really gotten so much more legitimate now. We'll just say reverse mortgage, singular. So let's see. Now watch carefully. I'm going to click on this magnifying glass. Now I'm going to click on people. People, that's quite a few people, 62,000, I can't deal with that. Say I want to find all my first level people that maybe I haven't yet done a client session with, or maybe they want me to come in and do a training or something. And I don't want to find them everywhere. I want to find them in the Denver metro area for now. Eventually I could I'll click greater Denver area. So now most of my reverse mortgage people, I think it went from like 45 or 42 or something to 40. They're here in the Denver, and that's a manageable number of people that I could go to them one by one and say, hey, have you thought about getting some LinkedIn training for reverse, to help you with your reverse mortgage business? And essentially, not exactly cold call them because I know them, but do business development with these people. So that's easy. Say I wanted to meet more people, I'm going to look at those second level, the ones that are just one person away from you, and now I've got quite a few. That's a lot of people, even just in the Denver area. That's because I have all those gazillion connections. Let's say I want to look just in one company, Fairway. That's a really very reputable company. You can see I've already looked there before. Now I have 36 people who are with Fairway Mortgage. Again, a manageable number of people if I wanted to go after. We'll maybe do a group training at Fairway. Does that make sense? See, so you can use the search feature even with this is all free account stuff right now. So we don't have time to go into what I could do with Sales Navigators. I don't think for a lot of you it would be relevant. Yeah, Renee?
You had said that you had gone to look at who looked at the page.
Yeah.
If you don't pay for LinkedIn, is there a trick to looking at those people?
You're screwed, Renee. I'm sorry, to be so blunt. You only see about 3 people back, 3 or 4. If you pay LinkedIn $30 a month, which you say, oh, $30 a month, and just act like a job, you don't even have to act like a job seeker, it's not unemployment or something, but for $30 a month, the lowest level of payment, you will see 90 days back. 90. Everyone. Everyone who's looked at you for $30 a month. Maybe that's worth $30 a month.
You'll see what back?
You'll see what she's asking. When you see so-and-so looked at your profile, and you only see 2 or 3 faces, and then you click on this plus, and then LinkedIn says, oh, you want to see more? You got to pay up. So if you paid them $30 a month, it might be worth it. I mean, try at least a free trial run, which you can do on any of these levels for 30 days, and then see what you think. Maybe it'll be worth a $30 investment. Great question. Really great question. Because we never could see that even before the change. So now you get an idea. Let's say I want to search. I'm going to go back and start a new search. I want to search for people in a company. So now I'm going to go, we'll kind of keep with this real estate mortgage theme. I'm going to look for David Lampe, because David Lampe is a dear friend, a Toastmaster buddy of mine, and I know he works for RE/MAX, and there's a lot of RE/MAXs, right? So I want to get to the right RE/MAX. So by clicking, because it is a big enough company to have the company page and the logo like we talked about, I have 3 first level connections at this company. Let's say I want to find some more people. Well, they have a lot of people at RE/MAX, right? So what I can do here is, what I'm going to do is go to my second level. Here's just another little approach. Okay, still 213 people, and I make sure it's in Denver. Okay, now I still have 193. So let's just for jollies go to their past company. You know how Keller Williams, a lot of realtors start out at Keller Williams, at least that's what I've noticed. So say they started at Keller Williams and then they went to RE/MAX. It was only 5 people. So again, you could just do something like that. You just streamline, and so you aren't overwhelmed with all those people. So these are just ways that you can search. So we search for people and for companies. Now, there's one other cool way to search, and that is within groups. And I just recently learned this. I don't know, maybe I just stumbled on it. The first thing to figure out is where in the heck did they put the groups? I mean, I'm so old with LinkedIn. I remember when groups had its own tab. But then it got merged into this other tab, and now they've hidden it. I feel it's hidden. Here, you see this where it says work? There's the groups. There it is. And the little grid thing. So you go to your groups, and then there's going to be this is groups in the whole LinkedIn universe. But I want to go to my groups, and just for sake of, this is a group I manage, that's why I see that information. I'm just a helper manager. But I want to go to link to Denver. So this is where I did that's what my slides are for. So link to Denver. Link to Denver has some conversations. They used to call them discussions. essentially they're like a post. Somebody started, asked a question, maybe they linked to a post of theirs, an article. So watch this. Do you see up here? I mean, I can't believe I didn't know about this. It says search, watch. So now in here, my goal is to look for, I want to find other social media people. It's a pretty big tent. There's people who do social media and so many different things. And not a lot of people who have the patience to hang out with those older people and help them learn stuff. So they send them to me, yes. So I want to be friends with those other people, right? I want them to know who I am. So here I go to social media. Now I'm going to skim through, and when I click on search, I'm going to see all the people linked to Denver who've been posting about social media. Isn't this cool? So I see all these, you can see it's not very often. There's posts, 7 months, 6 months. It isn't exactly a super active group, not like when I used to be involved with the Toastmasters group. And it was. So now let's pretend Kim Peterson Stone, I want to get to know her. So I'm going to go and I'll say I take the time and I review her profile, and I can message her right from here. See, right from here too. So I could just message Kim like I was messaging before, and it's going, now this time it took me right, oh, there's Drew telling me I'm doing a good job. That's so cool. I can't believe it. Wonderful modern technology. All right, sorry, I just got over my little moment there. So I'm not going to do it because I haven't researched her enough, and say, hey, Kim, loved your article in such and such group on this aspect of social media. However, I can't see new message to message her. So I'm doing this through that group. Okay, let's just walk and show how we got there, just like arrow back. I couldn't message her because she and I are not connected, right? Let's look at here. No, see, she's the second level. So I could theoretically message her through emails because I happen to have the Sales Navigator paid level of LinkedIn, but I don't want to use up one of my email credits, right? Let's think about it. So what I can do is I can message her through the group, or I get 15 times a month. You can go in, not per group, but you can send 15 messages within a group setting a month, maybe within, say, 3 groups. So say I wanted to look her up, it's so convenient. If you ever want to look for somebody in a group, you just type in their name. What was she, Kimberly Stone or something? So anyway, I'd find her, blanked on her first name, and you can just find her right in there. You search for them, search by last name. So that's another way to search within a group. You can search for conversations, then find people. And we were talking right before we started, me and Nicholas, about how a lot of times you come to face-to-face groups like this, you aren't necessarily going to find your direct end user in this group, but what you find are potential referral partners, people that know people that know people. That's how, life is full of weak ties, the power of weak ties. One of my favorite phrases, and LinkedIn really reinforces that. Well, I've gone through, I think, the main things I wanted to show you. My sales pitch, I could do that later, briefly. But now I have plenty of time for questions. And we could even wrap up early. What a concept, yeah. So tell me, are there things that you'd like to have questions about, even outside the scope of this presentation? I'll try to answer them the best I can. Fred?
What's your opinion about people that don't really read an article? They read the title.
I don't know. They just maybe want to be associated with that information. I think that's maybe being kind of superficial, which I've been known to be too, so I don't know. You want to elaborate on that question?
Well, there was a recent article that was on LinkedIn, which I found fascinating, and it started out, it takes balls to be in sales. And having been involved in sales and marketing for 40 years, it's fascinating. There's so many people. There's like 500 likes to the bloody thing. So I went in to look at some of the likes and all that. Some of them simply said, "Oh, awful, awesome article, this." But nobody really. I went in and elaborated, saying, "Look, it takes dedication, it takes follow-up, consistency, a whole list of things." And so many people just, didn't even look at mine. They just simply said, "Oh, awesome," or they put in some little sales message. And I sat there like, is this what LinkedIn's come to, where people just like it, or put in some crap, some less than effective sales message?
Yeah, I think there are people use it on a lot of levels, and I can't say LinkedIn's come to. Everybody uses their social media in different ways. And they're going to be the casual users. Usually I should say I do click into the article to make sure that it is something that I can associate myself with. Maybe it has a bunch of swear words or something in it, or whatever. Something I'm like, ugh, I don't want to go there. The content is good, except I don't like how they framed it. So even if I like the whole article in a way, I'm not going to associate myself with it. So I do say I will go in and look at it. I don't just casually. But a lot of people just do that, and I think people are, I don't want to say lazy, but they're quick. Lots going on, and they think, oh, I want to have a quick presence on LinkedIn today. So that could be part of it.
Do you ever leave any counterpoints to it? I often will go in there and say, this article is
I think that's fabulous, because that is really going to get noticed by the article, right? If you have something that is really a devil's advocate point of view. And you know what, you can tag that person too, even if you're not connected with them. See, so then they'll be, oh, Brad, you look interesting. I want to see, what does he have to say? Oh, I would definitely do that. You stand out there.
I think people do that to be non-controversial too. I mean, so that,
there's that.
you know, so.
Yeah, wimpy.
Yeah.
So just try to be
Well, you want to be politically, and not politically correct. You want to be careful. You don't want to inadvertently piss off as much as anything. So I think it just depends on the topic, too. So you have a thought?
I had a couple questions on a different topic. I want to move on.
Fine.
On your search, I noticed that when you, for example, were searching for reverse mortgage, that reverse mortgage showed up either in the title or in the name, actually, of each of the people. Is that where that search goes? It doesn't necessarily go into the body of the description.
Oh, no, wait, okay. Any place, this is why you should carefully weave your key words into your profile, into your summary, into your job description, title even. Don't, you know, I used to say I'm founder of Social Media Tutor. Who cares? I mean, Boomer Social Media Tutor. I am a social media trainer and tutor. You have 100 characters, guys, in that job position title. So put reverse mortgage, put strategy expert, put anything in there that would catch people's attention. Then, in your body, in all of those places, you can weave that in without, like, you don't want to stuff the keywords, and so you say that.
The other question I had was that from time to time I'll be searching through LinkedIn and I'll find someone who I find interesting. I want to check this person's profile out, and I'll find that that the profile is blocked or whatnot. I can't really see the whole thing, maybe just one little blurb. How do I make sure that's not happening with my profile? Because I want as many people as possible to be able to see everything about my profile and contact me if they want to and so forth.
I don't normally get into settings in a training, but let's just take that question since we have a little bit of time. So I'm going over to this little picture here. I'm going to settings and privacy. So now what you're asking about has to do with who can access you. So let's see, who can see? Everybody, the whole world, right. So for example, this one here, profile viewing options. So whenever you see people, this is the default, then you'd want that. That's not exactly what you asked, but I just want to mention that. Then down here, choose who can follow you and see your public updates. It'd be in there. See who you've unfollowed, see who you've blocked. So it'd be in that part. Who can notify connections when you're in the news. There's another part about who can connect with you. You represent your organization, profile visibility. So just go through all these. Suggesting you as a connection based on your phone number should be everyone. Yeah. So that it probably just has to do with the way they've set up their settings, I'm guessing. Other questions? So I'm trying to think of any other. Oh, here's a cool thing. This isn't really in the program, but I'm going to mention it, so I have a couple minutes. Jack Dwyer. Is Jack here? Oh, he was supposed to come. Oh my gosh, he's on the list, so I'm going to reach out to him. There you are. Oh, good man. All right. So, yes. So let's say that I didn't recognize this name, and he sent me this, and I see we have almost 50 connections, so I think, well, I should connect with him. But maybe I'm not going to write this because I'm excited about Jack, right? So I would say, this is my lingo. Thank you for the invite, Jack. What prompted you to reach out to me? What prompted you to reach out to me? And here's a cool thing that happened. So this lady, I just asked her that question. She looked interesting, and then I accepted her. So you can do this one of two ways. Let me back up. So then I'm going to wait and see what Jack says. Or conversely, I can just go ahead and accept Jack, then I accept him, I'll accept both these guys, and then I'll go back over here again, and then from here, where you always see your most recently added, then I would say, thanks so much for the invite, I'm glad we're connected, what prompted you to reach out to me? So you can do it either way, depending how open a networker you are. That's personal style. But what I did was I clicked on Manage All. This is how I got into that ability to message that person even before we're connected. But the thing I wanted to show you is my new buddy Gretchen, who wants me on her podcast. Can you believe it? Holy cow, I'm so excited. And she just was out of the blue, found me on LinkedIn, and then she says, oh, I really like what you do, and here's some links to some of my other podcasts, and how would you feel about being on the podcast? This is just being slow today. So, I'm sorry. But at any rate, that's just an example. And that was just because I asked her a simple question. I know we're really at our time. Do you have one more thing, Carol?
You know, what would be the strategy for you when to use LinkedIn and complement it with email?
Oh, okay. All right, good point. Here's just a couple quick things. If you recommend someone, for Pete's sake, email them. Text them, smoke signal, whatever, call them. Because they're not maybe going to notice that they were on their LinkedIn and here's this lovely recommendation waiting. So I would say, unless you see somebody super active on LinkedIn, I wouldn't rely on it to message them. No way. I might say, hey, email them. I endorse you for 3 skills. You know, and you want, maybe would you endorse me for A, B, and C? Not that you always have to be tick or tack. But I would use email quite frequently in concert with my LinkedIn.
Are you notified when they accept your testimonial?
No, come to think of it, I don't think you are. To my best of my knowledge, are you?
Maybe
You are notified that they accepted it? Because I haven't thought about it. They are notified. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, good question. Well, as I said earlier, if you have any questions at all, that kind of 10 to 15 minute thing, happy to help you. And I have, we're going to have a drawing here shortly for a free hour. Yeah. So, and I have extra handouts if anybody has somebody who would like to take them. But anyway, we've got a great and lovely audience, great questions. Glad you all came. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Do you want me to start passing this around?
Yeah, why don't you, if you put your business card in there, you'll get a chance at that free hour.
Just give me my card back so I can put my card in.
You
No, I have plenty extra.
Just give me a hard time.
Don't leave home without it.
Actually, Joyce, do you mind
I don't know, I'm getting out of here right
No,
now.
can you just leave yours on and I'll
Leave
just...
mine on. Whoa, just, People are technology adjustments.
All right, so...
And if you're not on LinkedIn with me, the 2 or 3 of you, no, I'm...
like I'm at church.
That's fantastic.
Well, let's give Ashley a little round of applause because she's a fill-in here. I don't think she's done this before, so I give her a lot of credit for stepping into the hosting role.
All right, so we will now get a little bit more information from all of the allies involved with this.
Joyce.
So first, Joyce, would you like to tell us again how we can all take action with you?
You can take a green, besides what you've already done, just take these and pass these around, if you would please. I'll give one to Anthony. I'll and keep one myself. Just join my mailing list. That's on the screen form. If you just put your name and email down if you're not on it, then you'll get that, the e-newsletter. I have a free webinar, Sharing and Schmoozing on LinkedIn, of which I do cover some of this information. It's up on YouTube, and you can find it there, but I can just send you the link. Make it easy. If you know of another group, I forgot the top one, that would like a presentation of this type, I do this frequently around the Denver metro area. Be happy to do that, no charge. If they pay, that's even better, of course. And then, speaking of money, I have a webinar series And if you go home anytime by tonight and you just pay through PayPal, if you want to get my $99 webinar series, then you'll get a set of templates that can really help you can use for when you send that message back, like that message I wrote back to Gretchen, the one with the podcast, I think is really in part because why she reached out to me again. Because I told her a fair amount about myself, hopefully without bragging, but just informing people in that message. So I can show you those kind of messages in the template. So one of them is on your profile, which we didn't even have time to get into, just a little bit with Nicholas's question. One is on searching, so it goes a little bit more detail from what we covered, and one is on connections. So really what you see in those webinars are each 30 minutes, and they're a combination of PowerPoint and LinkedIn demo like we did today. So those are all ways in which you can be in touch with me.
Awesome. Thank you, Joyce. Andrew, would you like to share how we can take action with you?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Spaces. Thanks for all coming out. If anybody's interested in what Spaces offers, anything from open co-working memberships to private office space, feel free to stop by the front desk. We're happy to take out a tour and see if we would be able to help your business. So, thank you very much.
All right, Nate Lapgard with the Kite and Dart Group, who's not here. I know his company has a community introduction where you can learn more about him and what they offer on Tuesday, I think, but check his website just to make sure. And myself, I love doing little 30-minute brainstorming sessions with people who feel a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit scared. I work with business owners who need help with organization and operations and processes. So if that's something you need attention, I'm your girl. Anthony, you're next.
All right, thanks very much, Ashley. My name's Anthony Pritchard.
That'd be weird.
And I believe that we're in the middle of a video revolution, similar to what we saw with what Napster did with the radio. Video allows you to duplicate yourself, it allows you to delegate more responsibility, and it allows you to make thousands of introductions that turn into conversations and ultimately transactions. And what used to cost $500,000 in a news truck is now happening right in front of us with the live broadcast of this event. So if you have any questions about video, I'd be happy to help you.
And for only $197, you too could have this very cool gizmo, and like Dana here, and all kinds of other helpful things, which I popped for because I saw him give it away at somebody's book gala, and I thought, what a generous thing. I'm just going to buy it myself.
Thank you, Joyce. I appreciate your testimonial.
By the way, can I put the drawing, just in case somebody has to leave?
Yeah, go for it.
Can we do it now? Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, why don't you just draw? I'll just hold you draw. Because I know some of these people could be awkward.
This one.
Not the right one.
Mark.
Oh, wow. Oh, sweet.
Great. Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. And Laura Pensatencio, who's not here, check out her website and all of the social media. She's on all of them.
She's great.
And then Drew Shockley, our founder, who is probably on Facebook. He is with Call to Action Alliance, and he is a website designer. So if you are tired of visitors bouncing away from your website, let Call to Action Alliance dive into your business passions to create a standout online experience that moves traffic to your website. His tagline is Passion Ignites Action, and you can book an appointment with Drew at CTAalliance/bookdrew, and it's DRU, not DRU done, by the way. All right, now it's all of your turn, and we are going to go through the crowd and stand up and share your action item for the day. We've got some time, but let's try to keep it to 20 seconds so we can move through everybody.
So either you're something that you learned or something you're definitely going to start doing now.
Yeah.
And make sure you say your name and your business again.
Start here again?
I learned a bunch. I really did. I don't use LinkedIn as I should, apparently, as today's presentation. And one thing that I would like to do is do the postings. Like you said, you did them on Tuesdays. Yeah, post a little more and see what happens from there. So thank you, Cassie. My name is Cassie.
I'm Miranda. My business name is Breakthrough Family Wellness, and my takeaway for today is to schedule, like an hour and a half every week, one day a week, to do the things.
And you can use Hootsuite, by the way. If you use other social media management tools, you're familiar with that. just so you know, so you don't have to be overwhelmed with the posting.
Oh, sure. Nick Zeisler, Zeisler Consulting, and I'm so glad to hear so many things that I was planning to do anyway. I'm right on, so I'm obviously in line, and I'm definitely going to start using groups to send free messages.
Ooh,
and
I can see you perk up at
weasel
that
free
one.
messages through LinkedIn now for those with whom I'm not immediately connected. Thank you, and please add me to LinkedIn, and we'll talk about sharing contacts as well.
Let's not forget Mark and
Great, thanks. So one of the things that was a real standout for me was how I write inspirational blogs, and what I've been doing is simply taking the link and then posting that as my post to LinkedIn. But what I learned from you today was I can really double that up by changing just a few things in the title and the paragraph, and then adding the article and then referring to my blog post at the very end. So that'll help the SEO process, and I can get double mileage out of that blog. So thank you for that.
Lila Gonzalez, and my takeaway is to use the groups in particular to really connect. I've been using LinkedIn just a teeny bit, but more for sharing and less of connecting. And I want to get in there and use the groups and use just some of the search tools to find people that I want to connect with, because I've switched careers over the last few years, so I've connected with a lot of people that no longer really are my audience, or we're friends, engineers and things like that, but we don't really, there's not a lot of working opportunities together anymore. So I think just getting in there and taking some time to really connect and care for people.
I'm Dave Fernandez, tax accountant, IRS licensed enrolled agent. My big takeaway was what to do when people want to be a connection. I never knew what to write them, but now what prompted you to reach out to me?
Glad you like that.
So simple.
Yeah, it's easy. Go for it.
Joshua Berman, Denver Tax Return Service. I learned that I need to move some of the videos that I have on Facebook over to LinkedIn.
Videos.
Hello again, everyone. Zoe DeVito. Joyce, when I met you last year, you said, Zoe, you have 100 connections. Come on, go get more. So I took that as a challenge. I've succeeded in that, and now I feel inspired very much to connect with people. When I write a status update, I'm going to thank you later for this excellent presentation and start using that more. What a fun way to connect.
I'm Karen Swanson with Early Bird Store, and this probably sounds really bad. I got on LinkedIn about 5 years ago. I did a profile, probably haven't looked at it much since. Pretty typical, it always comes. So this inspired me to say maybe I should go in and update it. It looks different than it did. It doesn't when I first signed up. And so I'm going to go in and get connected with some current people because I too switched careers. So I'm connected to every rep like you for interior design, because I'm an interior designer. So I'm connected with every Michigan rep and interior designer, and now I'm in Colorado.
Carol Wolf, the Posidine Group. Wow. I'm kind of a ditz when it comes to this area, but weaving keywords into the description and the titles, and how it complements face-to-face, our networking and our marketing. We love it. And what prompts you to reach out to me? Well done. Thank you.
Cliff Walter, Challenge Technology out of Louisville. I'm a LinkedIn wallflower. Sorry. Don't post anything. Don't do anything. What I learned is articles. Find some white papers. They may be too long. White papers. They can be a little
bit.
thorough.
What you could do, you could have 2 or 3 paragraphs commenting on the white paper, and then send over to where the white paper is, like on your website.
I'll pursue that. Be more active. Thank you.
Maggie Georgopoulos, Magazines Wise. I actually use LinkedIn quite a lot, but I've learned about the idea of continuing to repurpose my LinkedIn articles as blog posts, so that was really good.
Fred? Whoops. Sorry. Fred?
Cheerleader. Oh, okay. Well, I thought I timed it. Fred Kaplan, Pro Bono Consulting. Ever since I met Joyce, I've been working on LinkedIn, so I've always learned some interesting things. I do have a company page, which I actually don't do much with, so maybe it's not worth keeping it. So always learn things.
Anne Klein, and vacations are my business, but it's with a twist, and I work more in the corporate world. And so I have been focusing more on LinkedIn, putting, sharing things. But I want to start writing more, and I've been really wanting to do that. And just with, the great B2B headlines that will catch attention was my takeaway, because that's who I want to talk to.
That was divine order.
Yeah, like how to, and the 10 tips that are different, that are interesting. So thanks for that.
Thanks, Anne.
My name is Molly Savage. I'm a financial advisor at GCG Financial. We are heavily regulated with compliance, so it's difficult sometimes with LinkedIn. So sometimes I can't really do it, I connect with a lot of people, but it's very difficult. But some of the ways that you describe utilizing LinkedIn, I know that I'm able to do, like the group utilization, search functions. I can't necessarily post anything. I have to compliance regulate that. But I didn't really think about utilizing some of the groups in order to be able to connect to the things I'm trying to say, or keywords. So that's something I really learned, and I thought you did it excellent.
Thank
You didn't
you.
read off,
You saw me 2 years ago.
I did. So thank you very much. That was great.
Thank you so much, dear.
Hi, I'm Renee Schallert, and I have seen Joyce train before. So this is a confirmation of everything that she had also said, but that I did learn a little bit more about the groups and the search and putting in a person in the company and then going to the people. Because I have a hard time making the search work for me. Almost in anything that I do, mostly LinkedIn. So thank you.
You're welcome, Renee.
Chris Armenta, Blank Corners and Curves. So I basically use LinkedIn just as a connection tool, but I always struggled with how to be more interactive, because I always considered you had to just post articles, post content, but I never thought to leverage my in-person networking, which I do a lot, on LinkedIn, which I know you can tag people, presentations I go to, which I do a lot, so that's my in, I think, for more interaction, so
Right.
using that.
Thanks, everybody. I think I'm going to write a blog post about this. Isn't that a cool idea? We have all our collective wisdom. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Perfect. All right. So, yes.
May I make a suggestion? If people are wondering what to post on LinkedIn, when you go home, post that you attended this session, and it'll meet the FTC compliance and all that other stuff. And so when you attend meetings or attend events, post it. And what you learned at those events, that's a way to get around some of the regulatory rules if you feel concerned. And it's a way to connect with other people that may have attended these events also.
Great. Thank you, Fred.
And then you're going to probably talk about the end, so they'll turn in the action forms to you and just the green forms to me, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, we are signing off of Facebook Live. Bye, Drew.